Hello everybody, it's Vector here with the review today on the robot Damashii, robot spirits, Sinanju. From the series Gundam UC or Gundam Unicorn. This is an action figure if you're not familiar with robot Damashiis, and not a model kit. So you pretty much get what you see here right out of the box. No painting, no anything necessary. It's roughly the size of a 1/4 scale or high grade, give or take a few centimeters. So they won't be 100% in scale with them, but it'll be fairly close. So let's take a close look here at the back of the box. Different poses and accessories that you could get with the kit, or the figure. Nice, just basic, simple box, not a whole lot going on here. Number 79 in the line. Brought to you by Bluefin Distribution. And this particular figure I picked up from Tatsu Hobby. So if you enjoy the figure in this review, you might want to pick yours up at roughly about $50. Box to the side. Bring out the figure itself. Zoom in a bit. And here you go. You can see the little mono eye in there. It's a fairly nicely detailed figure, and one of the highlights of it is you don't have to actually paint all the gold trimming around it, which could be very painful and tedious for those who aren't very good at painting. Got some nice little details all over it. Now, of course, it is a figure. It's not 100% as completed as it would be if you had a actual kit and you did it yourself. But you could always go through and go back and paint this yourself, like any little details that you might like. Like say thrusters inside, you could paint those, or panel line little areas here, like along the legs. Maybe paint these little vents gray. I don't know. And you could also add another a nice gloss coat to it to make it even more shiny. That wouldn't hurt. Alright, let's move him to the back here. Let's start off with the accessories. He does come with different sets of hands. He comes with 2 closed fist hands. That's what comes on the figure right out of the box. He comes with 2 partially grasping hands, which are for the Beam Sabers, or the Heat Hawk, Energy Hawk things. I don't know. Turn into swords as well. I forget. I don't know what they're called. He comes with extra gauntlets. Since these, the ones that are built into the figure, do not open per se to reveal the Beam Sabers, he comes with multiple sets of these. So you get 2 with the Beam Sabers attached already inside, but they're molded in all gray, and you get 2 without it, just flush with the figure. You get 1 with the shield attachment, which is very nice. And since we're on the topic of this, if you want, you just plug the Beam Saber into there like so. Oops. And these are easy to remove off of this, so just pull it off. Just a nice peg and hole. So just pop it in like so. And I said you could do that with both sides. Okay, he also comes with, before I get to that, 2 open palm hands, standard for most figures. And he comes with a trigger finger hand, right hand only, for his beam rifle. And the beam rifle does have a moving scope, top a little blurry. You can see that's a nicely. I think it looks translucent, but it could just be metallic. No, it's metallic. It's a metallic green in both. That flies off, but the grenade launcher is detachable and is mountable on the shield. So you just pretty much just clip it on, just like the master grade. And this pretty much just pegs right back in. It's not a problem. There you go. And to attach that weapon, it's like most Tamashii figures, you know, just a simple ball joint. Stick it in, press, you know, simple, not difficult at all. He also comes with multiple Beam Sabers, too, which fit nicely into the Beam Saber hands, like so. He also comes with 2 sets of the Heat Hawks, which I'll refer to. I'm not 100% sure of the name again. The energy parts are swappable. So you got the 2 short ones and 2 long ones. Now the long ones, you want to make sure you put it in like so and push forward. You can't just slide it on like that because this little part right here gets in the way. So again, like that. Yep. See, now what the difference between the 2 sets is, one, you can see, is longer than the other. See, this is the open mode and this is the compressed mode. And each side is swappable, so you could put it either or on. You could put either or on the shield itself. And the shield one, you could either take it off and flip it over and have it at the top, or you could keep it at the bottom. And it just pegs in like so. Very simple. And again, even with the short, you have to slide it into there, like so. And you got that. And you can do it on both sides. Okay, now let's get to the other side. So for the shield attachment, you just take that part off. This one, again, nice peg. Slip it in like so. And with the ball joint, just press it in. It's easy and it's very movable. You know, it's on a ball joint. It can go all over the place. Looks good. Pop that off. Pop that off. Put the normal one back on. Also, for the shield, you get this little attachment here. It's a slightly longer one than like the one for the forearm. This one, you just attach here under the shoulder guard. You know, like a little groove, but you gotta be careful putting it on because these are very sharp. And you don't want to stab yourself and make yourself bleed. And that just pegs right in with the bolt joint, like so. So now he has the shield and his arm's free. Of course, it is fairly loose and it could pop off fairly easily, so be careful if you move it around too much. It's very nice. Another nice feature about these weapons, if you notice, they, in the master grade, in the high grade I believe, I'm not too sure with the high grade, they do attach together. So you could get the dual wielding, Darth Maul style, Galgoog style, you know, like effects going on there. And again, it just, let's see this hand, easily just slides right on and pegs in to the forearm. I can't do it on camera, it's a little hard to see. Oops. And now I dropped it and it's gone forever. Let's do it with the Beam Saber one. But you get the idea. Now I dropped that one. So I'm being clumsy. Now the hands are made of a slightly soft plastic, so they do bend, but you don't want to push it too much or you might break it. And again, you just peg it right in. It's easy. Little bit of warning though, do not constantly swap in and out the hands, because it's plastic. It is capable of wearing out over time and getting stress marks and eventually snapping, so you just want to be careful with that and don't overwork it too much by swapping parts out. Alright, and almost done here with the accessories. Another bonus, he does come with 2 command antennas. One, which is a very flexible one, so that way if you have him up on a shelf or something and he falls, you don't have to worry about it breaking. And he also comes with this one, a much more solid antenna. It's pretty much just pull it out and peg it in. Very simple. And the last but not least, he comes with this base attachment. So you can use for the Tamashii stands or action base 1 or 2 with a little peg hole. And that's just easy, like if you have a master grade or anything like that that has the action base attachment, and you pretty much just find the spot, like right here in the gray area, and just move everything aside and plug it in. And I said, now I use Figma stands because I have a few Figmas and I don't really have them on stands right now. So I have a few of these just lying around, and they work very well with the robot Damashiis. What I have to do, just make sure, because Damashiis are a lot heavier than Figmas, so you're going to want to tighten the screws. As you can see, he just flops forward a little bit, but if you position it right, you could get a lot of really nice poses out of it with the stand. So I highly recommend you get a stand for the Sinanju. Doesn't matter what kind of stand, but just as long as you have a stand. Now here's the action base 2. This pegs right in. It's a little loose though, but it is a tad bit more solid than having the multiple joints stand. So let's take that out. Remove this. Again, be very careful removing anything from these, because sometimes they could be a little hard. And you don't want to stress out the plastic too much, because eventually it will break. Alright, let's get into the articulation of the figure itself. So focus, there we go. Said his head is on a ball joint, so it's all around there, move up and down. His neck seems to be on a moving mechanism as well, so you get a good amount of motion out of that. Not too much looking up though, does a bit. So if you have him flying, you have to have him at a slight angle, like so. And he looks down pretty well. That's not too bad. His boosters on ball joints move in and out all around in a circle, and they do open and close, and this part does pop out a little bit when you do that. His fuel pods on ball joints, so they move around. These come separately, so you have to plug them in yourself, which is a very tight fit, so I don't recommend trying to remove them once you have them in there. The shoulder armor itself is just like 2 pegs on either side holding it together or something, I believe. Or it just might be 1. No, it's the 2 pegs. So that just goes up and down. This little part right here goes up and down. That's about it. His arm can move up, spin around, rotate, release the shoulder. Double jointed elbows. Wrist, as you seen earlier, was on a ball joint. You could move in and out like so, so you can get it like a bit farther forward, which is always nice. He has a ab crunch, like an upper torso bend, so you get that in there. Not too bad. It's not very side to side, so don't expect that too much. It does rotate at the waist. Front skirt's on a ball joint, so they all move. So it has the side skirts and the back skirts. And as you can see here, he has a little spot so he could put his rifle. You can get it. Can't really see it on the camera very well. I gotta do it backwards. There you go. There you go. There's a little peg right on there, and a peg hole right in there. So his legs do move forward fairly tight, which is nice. Back good ways. Move out so you can do splits. Rotates at the hip, bends at the knee. Does expose a bit of the inners there. I wasn't sure if it's a double jointed knee. I don't think it is. I think it's just one. Yeah, it's just one bend right here at the top, so keep that in mind. But you do get a very good bend out of it. So nothing to really worry about. Now these little side booster pods on his legs do move and lock into place. His ankles go down pretty well. Goes up a decent ways. Goes pivots side to side. And you can move it in and out. There's no bend on the toes or on the heel, but this little thing does move up and down. There you go, that's the basic articulation on that. So if we could do the Sinanju arm crossing thingy. There we go. Well, a little more work, you could probably get it looking a lot better. But yeah, he could do that, cross his arms. Alright, let's set him down here in the back. Straighten him out a bit first. Now this leg isn't as tight as the other one. Just gotta keep that in mind. Don't want to push it too much and stress the plastic again. Like with anything, in model kit, figure, no, you don't want to be too rough with any of these things because, you know, there are toys, they're made of plastic. Plastic has its breaking point. So always keep that in mind. Alright, let's compare them with a few other robot Damashis that I have, especially from the Unicorn series. Here's the Banshee. And here's the Angelo's Garazulu. You see there's a slight difference in height between these two. Isn't too bad. And the Banshee and the Sinanju are roughly the same height. So can't go wrong there. And let's move these to the side. And let's get a high grade. And here's an Adele. That's your basic 18 meter mobile suit. So there you go. That's the height difference between those two. Like I said, the Robot Damashis are roughly the same size as your basic high grade, so they're fairly close to scale, but you could give or take, they might be slightly different. So always keep that in mind when you are thinking about purchasing both figures and posing them together. So you might not get 100% of the actual scale. Alright, so that just about does it. This has been Vectar with the review on the Robot Damashii Sinanju. I hope you enjoyed it and stayed for the whole duration of this, which is fairly long. There was a lot to cover. I do highly recommend this figure. If you are short on time, don't have a lot of you know, space because they're small and they're compacted. They come with a very good amount of accessories, very good posable, you know, limbs and joints, and very stiff, and they look very nicely detailed. And you could also, you know, do a little hand painting here and there, or whatever, masking, make it look a little bit nicer if you wanted to. Alright, again, this is Vector. Thanks for watching.